I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but if you're looking for a man, just know that the reason you can't find him, a black man specifically, is because he's in Colombia already. He's in Colombia already, y'all. So this is the first time I've come to Colombia like post pandemic. So like seeing it in its like true form of like what the numbers are looking like. And when I tell you that my whole flight was full of it was full of black men traveling with other black men. They come into Colombia, baby. That's why you can't find them. They're all here.
Hey everyone, it's your boy Captain Hunter coming at you again. Thank you so much for tuning in. I truly appreciate it. Please, since you're here, make sure that you do me a favor, and that is hit that rate, subscribe, and share button. Please hit that rate, subscribe, and share button. Let's make it do what it's got to do. Let's make sure the show is going and growing. Let's make sure that the show is going and growing. Also, the rate, subscribe, share, and also hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. So I was doing some research for another show that I was planning on doing. So as I was reading it through this article in particular, I was kind of getting a reaction when I was reading. I was like, you know what? Let me just kind of throw this on here and do what everybody else is doing, create some more content, right? All right. So I am we are going to talk about this because I think it's worth reading over and discussing, right? How big of a problem are the passport bros, right? There's many YouTube videos that continue to come across my feed, in which women in particular are saying these guys are broke, they're dusty, nobody wants them anyway. And it begs the reason why you're making videos about it. I mean, if they're broken, you don't want them anyway. And they're sex tourism and seeking out the young girls and pedophiles and all this other different shaming language that's going on out here. What's the issue? What's the issue? So, I don't know. I am going to read through this because it's interesting to me, and I'm planning on taking some trips myself, so I want to see how big of a problem this is. So, and what the world is saying. So here this is, as we can see here, this article is from the Salt Lake Tribune, right? So it's a guy who wrote this article. Minimize that. Guy who wrote this article, Jake Nomada. I'm assuming with a name like Nomada that he may be of Japanese descent, but there's no picture of him, so I don't know. I haven't gotten to the comments yet, so we'll check out the comments as well too to see what's going on. So let's read through the articles here, right? So the name of the article is "Are Passport Bros in quotations really a problem?" ? Sponsored, is this something that could ruin the reputation of all men traveling abroad, or is it nothing to worry about? Let's find out right now, right? So if you plan on taking a trip and you're just telling somebody you're going to go to Southeast Asia or Eastern Europe or to Africa or to the Caribbean or wherever, Caribbean, I don't know how I say that. Anyway, what does that mean, So let's read through this. If you're a man online and interested in travel in any capacity, you may have heard of the passport bros, aka men who travel the world often with plans to meet women abroad. Unsurprisingly, they receive their fair share of hate. But regardless of what you may think of this cohort, there's no denying their influence is growing. The hashtag passportbros now has over 470 million views on social media link platform TikTok. So one of the reasons the research that I was doing is to figure out how many men, how big is this problem and how many men are actually doing this, right? What is the percentage of men who actually have the means? In particular, because I'm a black male, how many men in the black community, black men in the black community are really deciding to take this route? I want to know those answers. So I don't know if we'll get them here, and I don't know if we really have the answer, right? Is it? I mean, if the passport bros may be a movement, but there, if there's something like 20 million black men in the United States, well, let's go lower than that. Maybe 15 million men, of 25 and up, right? And right, how many? 15 to 20 million, whatever number you want to quote there, 25 and up, who have the financial means, who are not in a committed relationship. All these different parameters, right? When you start boiling all this down, they're straight, they want to, and they really want to just go for whatever reasons they want to go. And the passport bros, I don't know if this article is going to get to it, but really these guys, passport bros in particular, say that they're going to, yes, to meet women, but for love and for marriage commitment because of the Western problems that we'll talk about in a second here. So how big of a cohort, how big of a problem is that selection of men? Is it a million men? I can't even say is it a million? Eligible men who have the financial means to number one, to travel on their own, the requisite knowledge to make money while living abroad. What is that pool of men, right? The shaming language, these guys are broke, dusty, nobody wants you. Come on, that's crazy. Today we're going to take a closer look at the passport movement. What is their philosophy? How did this movement begin? Why is it so popular? Is this something that can ruin the reputation of all men traveling abroad, or is it nothing to worry about? Let's find out right now. What are passport bros? Right, so I'll divide this, the author is saying I'll divide this into two definitions of passport bros from Urban Dictionary. So here's what Urban Dictionary is calling passport bros. There are men who have chosen to seek out foreign women, typically from other countries, for relationships. Not for sex tourism, not for the pedos, messing with kids or whatever, but for relationships. Not for hookup culture, but for relationships. That's what Urban Dictionary is calling them. And I'm pretty sure if you go to any real reputable site, that's what they are saying. Not what other people are saying, but what they are saying about themselves. They believe that Western women have been influenced by cultural and societal pressures to behave in a certain way, and that by seeking out foreign women, they can find a more authentic, fulfilling, and harmonious relationship. This is seen as a way to restore the natural balance between masculine and feminine energy and to avoid the wickedness of Western women. Men in the West, the second definition, men in the West who understand that the West, particularly the U.S., is a sinking ship both financially and culturally, and therefore choose to live in countries where their money goes further and they're treated with more respect, particularly by women. Passport bros understand that their lives will be better in places like Southeast Asia and Eastern Europe because strong family values are still seen as the norm in places like that. Hookup culture isn't as rampant in those parts of the world, and thus the population, especially women, are far less damaged. They create better and stronger family units. Listen, I'm a retired police officer, and it is my intention, now that I'm finishing up some schooling and things along those lines, it is my intention to live and to move to a place that's more financially, where my money's going to go farther, more financially suitable to my retirement needs. I make no qualms about that, right? I'm going to continue to make some money on the side or whatever, but my pension is going to go farther somewhere else. It's in my sights to do exactly this. Although biased, these definitions essentially capture the gist of it. Men from Western countries. Now, this I have not read, so this is going to be a surprise, and we'll kind of go through it as we read it, but I have not read this. Men from Western countries, primarily the United States, who are frustrated by what they deem an unfavorable dating scene in their home country, traveling abroad in the hopes of improving their options and finding more traditional women. Traditional is in quotations. In addition to the cultural and societal aspects mentioned in the definition, financial leverage also plays a role. On social media, passport bros often cite the fact that they can live a much better lifestyle in Asia or Latin America for a fraction of the cost in the U.S. Of course, yeah. So why would you not do it? I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Austin Albeta, who runs a popular passport TikTok account called the Digital Bro Mad, mentions that one of the best things about being a passport bro is a lower cost of living abroad. For example, in some countries, earning $40,000 is enough to support a family. This means that my partner can choose if she wants to work or not, or if she'd rather focus on running the house or taking care of our children. In the U.S., many dual incomes families can't have the same freedom and flexibility. simply because it's more expensive to live there. In short, we can think of a passport bro as a man who travels abroad for the primary purpose of improving his romantic options while also taking advantage of a lower cost of living. The origin story. This guy may have done his homework here. There appears to be some debate regarding who coined the term passport bros. However, the idea was brought into the mainstream by African-American documentary filmmaker by the name of Al Grease. In 2011, Grease released a film called Frustrated, which explored a growing trend of black men leaving the United States to pursue women in foreign countries, particularly Brazil. I did watch that documentary, Frustrated. I think it's still on YouTube. After the documentary release, several YouTube channels sprung up, mostly in the black community, of male vloggers singing the praises of foreign women and offering travel and relationships advice to viewers. In 2019, the movement exploded into the mainstream and has been growing steadily ever since. Most of the videos focus on Latin American countries such as Brazil, the Dominican Republic, and Colombia, or Asian countries such as Thailand or the Philippines. And while it's fair to say that the movement originated in the black community, he is saying that now, right? Before he wasn't sure, but now, okay, it's a black community. It's expanded beyond that now and includes men of any race. I don't think it's a coincidence that Passport Bros movement blew up in 2019, right around the time that COVID hit. COVID hit 2020. Well, at the end of 2020. People were bored in their homes with more time to consume content, and Passport Bros videos served as a form of escapism. After the pandemic came to a close, many folks were obligated to return to the office and therefore set off abroad to experience what the Passport Bros were talking about. As far as Latin America is concerned, since COVID, there have been a noticeable increase of gringos, Passport Bros or not, gringos. These days, the group's unofficial spokesman would probably be the man quoted above, Austin Beta, or the digital bro man, who has amassed 430,000 followers on TikTok. His videos include What I Learned from Being a Passport Bro, A Day in the Life of Passport Bros in the Philippines, and Tinder in Colombia, Red Flags. To learn more about the modern day passport, I suggest checking out this account. All right, this is the digital bro mad here, right? Common criticism. You can probably guess the nature of criticism that has been launched at this group of men. They have been accused of sex tourism, disrespecting other cultures, and even gentrification. Gentrification. Okay. All right. It's sex tourism, disrespecting other cultures. Okay. It is also claimed that these men go abroad for better dating options because simply they are unable to compete with men in their home countries. I don't understand how that's a negative thing. Oh, you guys are wimps. You're soft. You can't compete. You're a loser. Okay, so I'm going to go somewhere. I'm going to be a winner. Okay, okay. I mean, it may not necessarily be true. I'm not saying that it's true, but even if it was, why would I'm going to go somewhere where I'm wanted, where I'm respected, and where I am seen as the man? So, believe me, I believe in men stepping up their game in all aspects of their life. That's what my channel is about, becoming the best version of yourself. But if, and sometimes that may be getting your money up, getting your flex up, and then taking your talents abroad. Finally, there's a typical insult heard of American men who choose to date abroad. She's only with you for your money/green card. Okay, so when the accusations or when women say, I want a man who's 6 feet this and making 6 figures, and you're going to take me to, you can't take me on the first date to Red Lobster. The first date can't be coffee dates. The first date can't be, Cheesecake Factory, right? You got to take her to these expensive restaurants. Is that not the same thing? At least their argument is, the Passport Bros argument is, okay, if I'm going to do these things, at least I'm going to have something that I want in return. More a pleasing social interaction dynamic between us. Okay. Some consider the Passport Bro movement to be nothing more than a modernized version of mail-to-order brides. Only rather than importing women to the West, men are seeking out these women inside the borders of their home countries. Okay. And although Passport Bros would claim that their criticisms are unwarranted, recent actions certainly have not won them any favors. Let's take a look at some of the dumb things passports have done lately. Okay, I do admit that there's been some dumb things. Again, I haven't read this article, but let's see some of the dumb things. Several months ago, a YouTuber named Austin Holloman uploaded a video stating that Brazilian women were easy, and subsequently published an interview with 2 women on the beach in Salvador Bahia without their consent. Yeah, that's kind of stuff you get, this movement. And I think this is true of the manosphere. I think it's true of passport bros. I think that, I think that it's time to, what's the word? Copyright. I think it's time to copyright some of this language here. I think it's time to do that because you're giving yourself a bad name. You can't, in other words, copyright and say you can't call yourself a passport bro if you're doing stupid stuff, right? Create rules, regulations, and I'm not always in favor of doing that type of thing. But if they're being associated with negative personalities, you have to be able to separate yourself from those personalities. I think the same thing for the so-called manosphere. Coin the term manosphere, document it, copyright it, and then in order to put up anything that's going to be manosphere content related, you have to be a part of this association. Otherwise, call yourself something else. Call yourself, the woman hating space, or call yourself something else. But if you want to maintain a certain level of dignity and respect, then you have to be able to root out other individuals who don't have that dignity and respect. So in uploading videos without women's consent is bad. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that. When the Brazilian press got a hold of the story, he was essentially run out of the country and went as far as to be investigated for sex tourism. Another incident, Mike Pickup Alpha and David Bond, 2 North American dating coaches, in quotations, affiliated with the Passport Bros, were accused of sexual exploitation of Brazilian women for their social club, the Millionaire Social Circle, in which they invite women to parties and charge men an entrance fee to attend. In fairness to the Passport Bros, these harsh allegations of sexual exploitation seem to be exaggerated. That said, discretion is definitely not a strong suit of this movement. Not to mention, true or not, receiving this level of negative attention from the local press has a tendency to spark xenophobia among locals towards any foreign visitor in their country, right? Nobody wants to get off a plane and have to deal with the stigma of all the past idiots that came before you, right? Therefore, that's why I'm saying we have to be able to associate this. And particularly if these are black men who are doing this, then, our reputation obviously matters, right? We don't want to be followed by the police. We don't want to be stopped. We don't want to be held up in customs. We don't want to be charged extra or looked at funny when we check into hotels or Airbnbs or not given Airbnbs or whatever method that they're doing. So our reputation, that's what I'm saying. We have to start cracking down on who's allowed to call themselves what, because these people who have no scruples are messing it up for everybody, right? After high-profile cases such as these, you'll notice an uptick of gringo hate on social media platforms. While this typically dies down after a week or so, it's still not a good look. And while there haven't been as many high-profile cases of passport bros acting on a level that warrants news coverage, the cumulative effects of hundreds of social media accounts talking about getting with local women doesn't paint foreigners in the best light in these places. Yeah, you gotta keep your mouth shut, man. You gotta exercise restraint. And that's one thing that I don't think the millennials understand is exercising restraint. I don't think that they understand that everything's on the internet. You take pictures of your food. What are you doing? You just don't know how to keep your mouth shut. It is fair to say that the majority of Passport Bros affiliated with social media channels that now exist aren't exactly subtle about their intentions. Yeah, just stupid. Just stupid. Videos like this one and this one aren't likely to win you any much love for locals. I'm not going to click on those. Passport member speaks out. Right? You guys are dumb. You think this is a flex, but it's not. It's not. So will the Passport Bros single-handedly ruin the reputation of male travelers? I don't think so. I mean, they ain't helping, but I don't see this as a massive problem. It's important to remember that going abroad to meet women isn't exactly a new phenomenon. This sort of thing has been occurring for ages. The only thing that's changed is the name. I also think that the uptick in black males who are doing this, especially talking about it, is really the issue. That said, the main concern is that the new kids on the block, black males, seem compelled to record and share their antics. Idiots. Dumb. You're dumb if you do that. You're dumb. Take Lil Wayne's advice. Real G's move silent like lasagna. Real G's move silent like lasagna, right? Take that advice, all you millennials out there, and whoever's coming after. Before the rise of social media, men traveling abroad to meet women, if they were on the internet at all, were contained to somewhat obscure online forums or chat rooms, more or less out of the public's eye. Passport bros, on the other hand, are attention-seeking in their endeavors in the past month alone. The New York Post, Men's Journal, and Insider published articles about this group. I am going to read something from the Insider in a second here. There's little doubt that passport bros and pickup artists blowing up YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok is harming the reputation of male travelers abroad, but the overall long-term damage will likely be minimal. This is this guy's guess. I'm assuming he's just a journalist and not some kind of actuarial future fortune teller or social media social interaction specialist, I'm assuming. Generally speaking, you won't be personally judged for unsavory actions of your compatriots while abroad. My personal opinion during my research, this is this author's personal opinion. During my research for this article, I scrolled through numerous Passport Bros videos. Honestly, I don't see much redeeming about this movement, right? Because they're putting out foolishness. You guys are shooting yourselves in the foot when you do this. You're shooting yourselves in the foot. While in fairness, I'm glad he's trying to look at it both ways. Not all videos are women-centric. The few that aren't consist mainly of coping with being falsely labeled a sex tourist. Okay. Right. So if you're going to do that, right, post you going to the beach, post you, I don't know, going windsurfing, checking out exotic restaurants or taking in the local infrastructure, looking at the architecture, put up videos like that. You guys are, if you're doing that stuff, you're dumb. If you're doing exactly what you're talking about in this article and doing what all these other individuals are doing, just flexing and flossing with a bunch of women, you're stupid. You're dumb and you don't understand. You don't understand. It seems to be mostly bad quality content that isn't particularly useful. The level of insight contained in these videos amounts to be little more than foreign women are better because they seem to like me better. Yeah, you guys are, yeah. While I'm sure there is some good Passport Bros content out there, it's overwhelmed by the low quality takes from folks who, frankly, don't even appear to have much experience living or traveling abroad, right? So these are people who get their parents' gun, right? And just waving it around, just, calm. You guys are making yourself look bad. You're making other people look bad. And go over there, enjoy yourself, and stop with the need. I mean, you want to you want to get clicks and likes and stuff about, your travels and stuff. I may do the same thing when I'm traveling abroad. Just, hey, listen, this is me, and this is what I'm eating today, and here's the architecture, here's the view, and here's me going on a cruise and whatever. But this other women stuff, man, that ain't it. That ain't it. Additionally, it's woefully biased content that fails to portray the negative aspects of dating within a country and culture you're unfamiliar with. In Latin America, for instance, you'll invariably have to navigate dating norms within low-trust, highly promiscuous societies where you may not speak the language, right? So you got to navigate all this, and just bad. Portraying these countries as more traditional as far as relationships go is iffy at best and could set up a lot of men for disappointment and heartbreak. Having lived in Latin America for the better part of a decade, I've seen firsthand the number of gringos who have been utterly blackpilled upon realizing that the whole trad Latina stereotype is essentially a myth. Okay, you guys need to read this. Check this out. Sorry, this thing keeps adjusting here to show me ads. And that romantic relationships and family vows can actually be rather tumultuous and dysfunctional. On a prettier note, I simply don't like the aesthetic of grown men gleefully boasting on camera about how their Tinder date made their bed in the morning or cooked them lunch, or peppering ESL girls with interview-style questions about dating American men. Yeah, you guys are just dumb. I think that's bad. And I don't know why they're boasting about that. Oh, yeah, she cooked me breakfast. She made me... Ugh, come on, dude. To me, such conduct comes off as strange, bizarre, and distasteful. I agree. And these are a bunch of little kids who never had anything, and they're woke up like Christmas morning, and they think they just got to play with everything, and then break things on their way out. One positive thing I can say about this movement is that at least it's honest. They don't attempt to obscure the fact that they are going abroad strictly to meet women. No one really pretends to be interested in the local culture, customs, or language. Okay, now here he's getting a little bit off. So it's true that there are despicable videos that have been put up, and there is a bad reputation. But if you go back to the definitions of people who are looking for long-term relationships that he read from Urban Dictionary, if you stick with that, then there are plenty of good people out there who really are tired of the American culture, American society, American dating scene, who are going over there to get a better financial deal for their buck and to meet a more traditional woman. Now, if they're hooking up with or getting with women who are not traditional in that way, or some type of family dynamics and whatever, well, then you gotta do a better job with selection and all that. But let's not throw up the baby with the bathwater here, and let's not conflate the two, right? It's a direct and unapologetic movement, and I can respect that in a way. I also concede that they're probably helping some men live their best life. The Passport Bro movement has undeniably inspired many men who have never considered traveling abroad to get their first passport, sort out visas, and take the leap into the unknown. Although their initial reasons for going abroad might have been dating, I'm sure that some at least develop a deeper interest in a new country and happier for doing so. I can't hate on that too much. Finally, even though I am against their delivery method, I must admit they do have a point. I get where they're coming from. It's clear that many men struggle to find motivation for dating in relationships in the United States. This has been talked about, the motivation. There is no motivation, right? You jump on these Tinder apps, right? If you're not getting swiped on, you're getting ghosted. They want to be taken out for $200 and $300 first dates. It's just craziness and trash, right? And there's no motive. Why should men go to college, rack up all this financial debt? They can't afford. Can't get a job after, right? The job prospects, the financial aspects of what's going on here in America are really, really bad. And so if you can get up some level of skills where you can make decent money, particularly if you can work on the internet, why would you stay here and do that? I think that really the United States really needs to do something about that. Our homeless population is through the roof. Women are being evicted, nonstop. There's a serious financial problem that's going on here, and people are not thinking it's going to get better. So if you can get some kind of job doing something online, and you can, make $40,000-$50,000, and then go overseas and continue to rake that in, and it's a home run. There are many theories as to why this is, including the rise of feminism, unfavorable divorce laws. Listen, I can't see why anybody would get married in today's climate. Career obsession, right? Working 60 hours a week. Now they want to go back to, I think, 32 hours, right? And I was starting to watch the second Republican debate, which was just a freak show, so I turned it off. But just talking about the hours that people want to work and this career obsession and all this kind of stuff to make it into corporate America. Nobody wants to do that anymore, Nobody wants to do that. And for what? And then you're 60, 65 and you die, particularly if you're a black male? No, nobody wants to do that anymore. Unrealistic standards, right? You got to be 6 feet this, and this got to be 6 inches long, and you got to have the 6-pack abs, and you got to be Tupac in a suit, and you got to be willing to take me and my 2 kids, and you got to put us in a house, and I don't want to work, and you got what do you? And when I go to another foreign country, even though it may be distasteful, I meet somebody and she makes my bed in the morning. I don't get any of these benefits. So this is why men are checking out. It's unfavorable to be here and to be doing this. The popularity of online dating and OnlyFans, etc., right? It's a problem. All that is a bit much to get into now, but the main takeaway here is that it's true indeed that the American men are less interested in the prospect of dating American women. I am going to probably click on this because I want to read that a little bit. This leaves some men with two choices: drop out of the game or completely go abroad. The Passport Bros movement represents the latter alternative and offers a community of like-minded men doing the same. Going abroad for the first time can be nerve-wracking, and I can sympathize with wanting a group of online bros around who are doing the same and can offer support and positive reinforcement. In short, I understand the appeal, right? This is Rise of Passport Bros, right? Closing thoughts: while I don't think this movement will be exceedingly harmful to the reputation of male travelers in the long term, due to the fact that this whole passport concept isn't a new thing. If you're looking to travel and you're seeking a tribe or are aspiring to be a travel vlogger, etc., I would advise against associating with the Passport Bros. Interesting. And I can see why, right? These things get negative concepts. Manosphere, Passport Bros, all getting negative. SYSBM, all getting negative interactions. But that's an image problem that they need to clean up. And I suggested they do so. The optics of this movement are too seedy and attracts too much negative attention and energy. Yeah, it is. While I'm certainly not against men traveling or living abroad and dating foreign women while doing so, I don't see the benefit of shouting it from the rooftops either. Agreed. 1,000%. 1,000%. 1,000%. If you're a man who is interested in traveling to a foreign country and you're looking for a crew of like-minded individuals, there are plenty of helpful non-passport communities on Twitter, Facebook, and Telegram where you have the less risk of having your reputation sullied by affiliation. End of the day, I don't believe this movement is destructive, nor do I consider it one to be taken too seriously. Men have been meeting women while traveling since forever, probably, and it's not a trend that's likely to fade anytime soon. If you're a man who is interested in traveling abroad, my advice would be to avoid this movement. Yeah. When I do travel abroad, I'm going to see if there's any comments. I do not plan to call myself a passport bro. I'm just going to kind of just do it, right? I want to see if there's any comments. Any comments here? No, that seems to be oh wait, there are some. All comments. There are no comments to the story. I'm not going to write one either. I probably can't write one because I'm not subscribed. But this was a good article, I thought. Kind of get both sides. And it was released fairly recently, August 1st, 2023. So my shout out to him to writing that article. So let me see here. The last one we'll do. I'm a passport bro who travels the world. This is from Business Insider or insider.com. I'm a passport bro who travels the world to date foreign women. I hope to settle down one day, but for now I'm loving exploring the world. This was June 22nd, 2023, right? So this guy, I think this is this guy, Austin Albeda. This as told essays based on a conversation with Austin Albeda, a 32-year-old digital nomad who's one of the most popular passport bros on TikTok. It's been edited for length and clarity. I grew up in Colorado Springs, the city is home to both my Army and Air Force bases, so I had the chance to make friends with people from all over the U.S. growing up. I had an average Colorado childhood. I played sports, hung out with friends, and went snowboarding. In 2019, I moved to Seattle to work as a curriculum developer at a computer science school. First thing you got to do is got to get some type of skill. Men, improve yourselves, get some type of skill. I started feeling upset and exhausted after work, which is when I started wondering about working abroad. I spent my evenings doing nothing but playing video games and eating Chipotle burritos. At the same time, I was paying $850 a month to live in a small, crappy apartment with roommates. Gosh. When the pandemic hit, I felt stuck in life. I had just gotten out of a serious relationship and my car had gotten totaled. I felt like the universe was nudging me to leave, but there was a silver lining to all my troubles. I took a job as a data analyst in 2020 and it went remote. I thought that if I could work from my room and be productive, I could do it from Mexico or Indonesia or even Japan. So I took the leap of faith and became a digital nomad earlier that year. One of the biggest challenges was convincing my manager, Sam, that the tax laws allowed it. I also had to ensure that I would be productive while traveling. Thankfully, Sam listened to me with an open mind, took a risk, and allowed me to work remotely from anywhere in the world. Why becoming a passport bro is the best decision I've ever made. Before becoming a digital nomad, I had relationships with women in the U.S. While I believe that they were amazing women in the U.S., I found dating outside the country to be more fun and exciting. I traveled to 11 countries so far, including Brazil, Mexico, Indonesia, the Philippines, and South Korea. Becoming a digital nomad is one of the greatest life hacks ever invented, and it's only becoming easier. The second I clock out of work, I'm on vacation. Most people in the U.S. take less than 3 weeks off for a year. I now describe myself as a passport bro, someone who travels the world and dates foreign women, hoping to find a life partner. I also run a TikTok account with 430,000 followers where I share my journey and offer advice to others interested in becoming a passport bro. One of the best things about being a passport bro is a lower cost of living. For example, in some countries, earning $40,000 is enough to support a family. This means that my partner can choose to live, right? This is something that we read a little bit before. As a passport bro who's constantly traveling, I surround myself with women who are my type. In other words, I choose to be with women who have the qualities that I'm looking for. I have found many women overseas to be more open-minded. I think finding a life partner is one of the most important decisions in life, so dating in countries. There are many misconceptions. Let's get to this. Passport bros have their fair share of criticism. For example, some people say that passport bros are losers who don't have much upgrade to their lives, but I found that this isn't true. Many passport bros work hard to get degrees in fields like cybersecurity, data analytics, and programming. I run a group on Discord for passport bros. Much of the discussion is about sharing knowledge and career advice. Another misconception is that passport bros can't meet the standards of women in the U.S., so they travel overseas to date foreign women. But this perspective is elitist. What makes Western women the pinnacle of the global dating scene? Is the only reason someone travels abroad to date that they can't find a life partner in the U.S.? I believe many passport bros feel that it's the opposite, and it's women in the U.S. who can't rise to their standards. Some people criticize the women who date passport bros, believing that they are only after a green card, but this point of view is elitist too. I found that many people abroad have happy and beautiful lives, and that the U.S. isn't the aspirational place where everyone wants to live. I've met many women abroad who appreciate passport bros, including lawyers and women with degrees from Cambridge University. Many passport bros want to settle down, but with the right person. I love my life and plan to continue traveling the world for a few more years. I want to start a family one day, and I don't want to be traveling while raising kids. So I hope to settle down in one of my favorite countries. The top contenders on my list are Brazil, Colombia, and South Korea. As a digital nomad, I'm living a life that's impossible for me in the U.S. Ultimately, I hope to marry someone beautiful, loyal, and family-oriented. I want to give her a choice to stay at home and raise our kids if that's something she wants. I work hard so I'll be able to afford a nice house for my family and take care of them. So that's his perspective, and it's obviously been edited for brevity and all that. So take from that what you will. What's your thoughts about that? And listen, it's something that is certainly on my radar. I'm already working out some details about traveling right now, and it's something I'm going to do. And I'm not going to be, discretion means a lot, and you really should not be doing that kind of foolishness. So does this change? Let me know this. Does this change your mind about the passport bros? Still think they're a bunch of losers? He put an interesting perspective to it that some of the U.S. women can't meet his standards, right? Because he's looking, sounds like this guy, Austin Bateman, whatever his name is, sounds as if he's looking to be able to make sure that his wife, his future wife, has the opportunity to stay home and raise the kids if that's what she wants. Many women in the U.S. that I would assume that he met don't want that. They don't look favorably upon cooking and cleaning, being a homemaker. They want to be aspirational, career ventures and career ladies themselves, aka Ebony K. Williams. Anyway. So does this change your mind about the passport bros? I agree that there's been too much negativity, and it's time to reel that negativity in or kick them out of the space in order to clean up the space. You're giving them all brothers a bad name, and that would make brothers not want to do that type of thing. So let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Much love and peace, everyone.